If you like to eat healthy, this might be the craziest deal on the internet right now. You can get 30 of these 100% grass-fed beef sticks for $30. Each one of these sticks has 6 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, no artificial preservatives, no gluten, soy, or corn, and they're paleo and keto friendly. And I love how you can mix and match your favorite flavors. These are delicious. You will want to stop.
Hey everyone, happy Sunday evening.
need, especially from the card clinics, if anybody knows anybody that has been in a position where they use the affirmative defense, we would love to talk to them and get them prepped to give testimony or to potentially give written testimony. It's really important that the legislature knows that this tool is being used appropriately and it's not being used just as a get out of jail free card for people. Um, Judges are taking it very seriously, prosecutors are taking it very seriously. There are stipulations for the use of it. And so we want to make sure that, we had a meeting earlier this week with people from the association board. And I think the best example that I got out of that was if you're a patient and you go in and do your renewal card, your existing card turns off. So you would essentially have a non-valid card. If you were to be pulled over or have an interaction with law enforcement during that time, that would be one of the perfect scenarios for you to use the affirmative defense, that you have been to a doctor has said that you have a qualifying condition, and at that moment you didn't have a card, but you would qualify for one. So I think that's going to probably be one of the main courses that we're going to take with that. We do have a veteran that has used this process and is going through the process, and we think that he'll be good to speak on it. HB 1101 has not been scheduled. I do know, and I've heard from several people, that they're still kind of getting inundated with letters. And I think that is really important that people keep writing and people keep talking about, we don't want patient protections to be ripped away. We don't want to lose the program. Patients fought really hard for it for a really long time. We spent a lot of time in peer. And legislators told us to our faces that they weren't going to move it. It was political suicide. We were told to take it to the ballot. We took it to the ballot. We won fair and square at the ballot. I mean, we had more than what they're asking for now with their supermajority vote requirement for initiatives. So we did beat that. And I think we just got to kind of beat that horse. Does anybody have any questions so far? No questions? Okay. So I would like to kind of talk about next steps if 1101 gets out of committee. And this is where I think it's really important that as an advocacy group that we are able to bring people in to help us, because we're going to be the first ones in the nation that are going to put this to the test, that if a state can roll back a medical program, it sets a horrible precedence. It's a precedence that will affect us directly, but it will also directly affect every other state in the nation that has a medical program, because we will officially have set precedents that this actually can happen. And so in South Dakota, we cannot let it happen. And we have a history at New Approach of being very polite, being very rule following, being the people that are always fully transparent in what we're doing. I do think that this time around, if this comes out of committee and it comes to a floor vote, we are going to need patients to come and sit in the gallery. We're going to need to have patients go to the Capitol. We're going to need to have a much larger conversation. And it's really, really, really important that people get involved and stay involved, whether it's starting little subgroups to yourselves and then bringing them to this meeting on Sunday nights. But we're going to have to show force if that bill comes out of committee. Because if it comes out of committee, it emboldens those who want to roll the program back. And that in itself is a scary place to be. We do not want them to feel as though they're going to win against us. So we're going to have to push and push and push and push. I just don't know the landscape yet. We know that they split both of the patient protection bills are actually split out One is in judiciary, one is in health and human services. So they're trying to divide us. Eye on the prize. We'll write letters for those. Definitely our main focus is watching 1101. And any questions so far? I'm going to keep asking if anybody has questions. And if you do, please just jump in.
This is Brenda. I don't know if you can hear me very well with my voice, but with my cold I've had this week. I guess I thought the committee, I thought it was really pretty. 1055 went through better than I expected, I gotta say, and good job to all of you who were involved. I didn't, of course, do testimony, but I felt like it did pretty good. Donna and I did talk with our South Dakota Nursing Association that we've always been very active in, and we did get them to oppose the repeal for 1101. So that's a really good thing, I think.
That is amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes. So that just happened a few days ago, and I knew the meeting was coming up, so I actually saw it in print and writing, so I know it's out there and our members are aware too. So we have Nurses Day at the legislature next Monday and Tuesday, and I plan to go and be active out there and try to talk to as many legislators as I can. So anyway, just wanted to let you know about that.
Thank you, Brenda. We appreciate that a lot. And every patient in South Dakota does appreciate that. It's when we can get the care organizations to back what we're doing to protect the program, it makes us more powerful. Just like Sadaho jumping in on 1055, that was incredibly powerful because none of the sponsors had taken the time to speak with any of the physicians regarding some of the things that they had in their legislation. So we do appreciate that. And nurses are powerful.
I agree. I think we're pretty well respected out there, which has, been a lot of work over the last 30 years. But has anybody from this group talked to any of the doctors, or do we know where that's at? Or
So we have not talked to any of the doctors.
okay.
The nice thing about us is we are currently, I guess I want to call it resource sharing with the association.
Mhm.
So Jeremiah Murphy, who is the association's lobbyist, is giving us updates also, which is really important because it keeps us kind of up and in the loop of what's going on out there. I
Uh-huh.
know. So with Sadaho getting involved in 1055, they are paying attention, which means that conversation is being had with the docs. And
Yeah,
we're letting them have that.
sounds good.
Yeah, historically, we haven't had great luck with getting doctors to come out publicly. Dr. Maria Bell did for a very long time, and then she kind of pulled back because she had a family member get in some trouble with marijuana and she wanted to step out of that spotlight. I should reach out to her
Mhm.
again.
Mhm. And of course, we know the providers with the large health systems aren't really involved either, correct?
Some of them are. There's a
Okay,
handful of them that
few
are,
more.
yeah, we're still at 303, but they're kind of holding strong, which is good.
Yep, good.
Yeah. Um, so like I said, I don't have a big update this week because we don't have anything scheduled. The one thing with Jeremiah Murphy is that he'll let the association know if there is a scheduling upcoming, which kind of gives us a little bit of a head start notice on it. Also, we'll share that with the group and ensure that once we know it's scheduled, that's when we'll start putting the pressure on. But the goal is to ensure that it does not come out of committee. If it comes out of committee, we are in trouble. And that is where we're really going to have to deeply, deeply organize and pull everybody, every patient that we know is going to have to step forward and be part of pushing to ensure that like it's killed on the House floor. We're in big trouble if it does not make it, like if it comes off the House floor and it ends up in the Senate. You know, killing it in committee is our best possible outcome.
Yeah, I agree. You always want to kill it in committee if you can.
Absolutely.
Do we know when, do we know when 10 55 is that bit? That hasn't gone to the floor yet, has it?
No, 10:55 is dead.
Oh yeah, you're right. 41st straight. You're right.
For
Thank you.
Yep,
Yep.
41st aid.
You can tell I've been sick all week. I'm kind of out of the loop. All right, you're
That's
right.
a You sound like Janis Joplin. It sounds great.
Yeah, please don't ask me to sing.
Got a little rust in there. I'm gonna ask Kittrick or Ned. Well, Kit, I'll have you go first. Do you have anything to add tonight? Usually you have a little bit to add to our meetings. Give us what you got.
I would say all of the messaging for the next couple weeks. House Bill 1101 hasn't been scheduled yet. There is the patient protections for affirmative defense. It's also wildly important. And that needs to be a patient led grassroots campaign. And so I'm sure most of you guys already have reading materials and stuff to get out. I think both of them should be hand in glove with each other. I think we have a better chance personally of killing the medical repeal bill in whatever committee it goes to. But that affirmative defense is something that's been tried to be repealed 5 times, 6 times now. So the messaging should be focused on patients shouldn't be going to jail for adult or for medical marijuana, and we want to keep our medical program intact. That's really all I have.
And Kit is correct. Both of those bills also are unscheduled. It kind of leaves us in a little bit of a hang zone. So our action items are, if you don't have your My LRC account set up, definitely go in and set up your My LRC. I think I'm watching 14 different bills right now. The best thing about that is you'll know as soon as we know that it has been scheduled. And so you'll know that we're going to start pushing out additional messaging and handouts. We do have some stuff that's probably going to drop Tuesday in regards to those patient protection bills. As Kit said, they've tried to roll it back about 5 times. So that means we have a whole bunch of historical information and data to work into new handouts for everyone, which makes this one a little bit of an easier fight. There is a lot of vehicle bills out. I just want to give everybody kind of a landscape for session since today was finally the day that I had a chance to dig through everything. Right now, there are about 6 bills on each side that are just one-liners. They're things like how to make South Dakota great again, to protect or prosper in South Dakota. There's just a bunch of wackadoodle things that are sitting there. We don't know what they're going to do with them. And we always have to remember that during crossover time and when the bills have to move, there is a chance that whatever we do kill could be pulled out on the floor and shoved into one of those vehicle bills. And so staying vigilant is really big on our end and making sure that we're watching and listening and talking to people. And if you have allies out there that they're, being very like open and honest with you about what is happening, there is a chance that 1055 could get smoked out. This legislature is pretty new. I see a lot of new names on the bills that are being pushed through. So staying vigilant, staying involved is super, super, super important. We just can't take our eye off the prize. And that prize is just like ensuring that our medical program does stay intact. One other thing I want to cover is Travis Ismay is the sponsor, along with Hunt and a couple other people on the repeal. If any of you do email him and get back any sort of response that is off the cuff or inappropriate, we would like to hear about it. We obviously are not going to post any of this, but I do encourage everybody to Google him and listen to some of the county commission meetings he's been a part of, just so everybody knows what we're dealing with. This is a very personal agenda he brought to Pierre. He ran unopposed, and so he's just kind of working rogue, and he's not a very nice person in regards to cannabis and the way he feels about it. So when you're contacting him, just remember, you're not going to change his mind, but hopefully he's kind to everybody. And if not, we would like to hear about that. And that's really all I have. Yeah, I feel bad that we don't have more of action items outside of kind of being vigilant this week, but they haven't scheduled anything. And I don't think they're going to schedule anything next week. We haven't heard any whispers that we'll have anything scheduled next week. So we might be looking another week out, which will make this week really important to keep watching the schedule. And again, setting up the My LRC so you know anytime that the bill moves, any amendments that are made, anytime it is scheduled for something, all of that will immediately notify you. So it's really important that everybody has an account. Go ahead, Kitrick.
I was gonna say I'm actually really excited that there isn't a whole lot worse bills that are gonna be dropped right now. We don't know. They just had their unlimited filing day last week, so legislators had the opportunity to file an unlimited number of bills. Now they're limited to 3 until crossover day, which I can't remember. Is it the 20th? Anyway. So we could still see more marijuana bills come out. But I'm glad that we are where we are. I thought it was going to be so much worse 3 months ago.
This is Brenda. I have a question for you guys. So when the 1123 and 1124 about the protections, when that's come up before in the last, you said it's been up 4 times, I think you said. What is their reason? Why are they bringing that up? What do they bring up about it? What's the opposition for?
I got this one. So the Sheriff's Association, Police Chiefs Association, Prosecuting or States Attorneys Association, the prosecutors of South Dakota, they were arguing that that language in law prevents them preventing not just medical marijuana users, but any users of marijuana. There's a number of different states that have affirmative defense written in code. The way South Dakota's is written is that in the event that you don't have your medical marijuana card, you get caught smoking a joint, you can raise the defense of medical protection after the fact, and the judge cannot prosecute. And that's pretty standard in a lot of those states as far as the language goes. But when you're in conservative South Dakota, they just say that's a massive abuse of power. We don't do that with vehicle insurance, which they absolutely do, but that's their argument, right?
Yeah.
And so I've quite literally gotten to a screaming match with the State's Attorney Association lobbyist Paul Barshand on the 4th floor of the Capitol. And by screaming match, I mean I sat there, nodded my head as he screamed at me, and I said, "You lost." So.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for explaining that to me.
Yep.
I'll ask Donna if she's had patients that have been involved with that, because it sounds like you'd really like to hear from them or have them write in. Donna did send me a text that she didn't have anyone who was able to do testimony, but there were several patients that did write in emails, but they couldn't make the 24-hour deadline to do a testimony written. So she's hoping to have more involvement for the repeal bill. So
Perfect. And I'll let you know, for patients that missed that deadline, what we did is we sent them in under the hat of New Approach, and we did get some auto replies back from a couple legislators, and we did get Brandy Shufflebauer actually sent a personal email back, which was very nice. Taylor Rayfelt in her auto response did state that if you weren't from the Sioux Falls area, you would have less of a opportunity probably to get a response from her or have her read your testimony.
Yep.
So yeah, when we get to the repeal, it's going to be really important that we organize by the districts these people are from.
Yes, right. That really makes a difference.
It definitely does, because they want to keep the people that voted for them happy and keep their space when we come up for reelection.
Yeah.
So really quickly, I got a lot of ums tonight. I used to wear a rubber band on my wrist and snap myself every time. I might have to start doing that. What we have is, I'm looking at the legislative calendar, and right now, so tomorrow is the 3rd, and it is all bill and resolution draft requests due by the LRC by 5 p.m. tomorrow. And then committee bills have to be in by 5 p.m. Tuesday. Last day for introduction of individual bills is actually Friday or Wednesday the 5th. So 2 hours prior to session. The 6th is last day for introduction of committee bills and resolutions, which is 2 hours prior to session. And then we have the week of the 10th through the 14th, just regular scheduled legislative days. The 17th through the 21st, regular legislative days. And then we come to February 24th, which is the last day to move required delivery of bills or resolutions by a committee to the House of Origin. So then we roll right into the 25th, which is officially crossover day. And that means each bill has got to be back into its House of Origin by the end of day that day. So that's kind of our timeline, is everything that's going to happen. If we don't get scheduled this week, we're going to get scheduled in the next 2. And then things are going to move really, really fast. And I think they're going to do that on purpose to ensure that they are pushing things through so quickly that the moment they come out of committee, we're on the floor. We've actually, Ned Kittrick and I have worked bills that have done that. They've come out on a Tuesday. They've been scheduled for the floor on Thursday. So we've had 2 days to work them. It's not ideal, but we've done it. If they do that, then we as an organization will know that like this was a planned event, and we'll take necessary measures to ensure that we get everybody, whether it's personal calls or emails, we'll get everybody involved. As many people as we can. At this point, I feel like so many people are just disenchanted with voting and advocating for this issue in the state that they've kind of given up. But if the state gets us to give up, then they win. And that's ideally what we're hoping does not happen. And I just saw a chat from Becky. Becky, that testimony. So Becky asked, when you give written testimony, is that available to the general public or just the committee? It is only to the committee members that you send it to. They don't publish them publicly. That is between you and the legislators. Legislators.
I've just had a lot of people ask me, like, I would love to testify or give a written testimony, but I don't want like my identity like out there for everyone. So I guess with the people I know, that's kind of an issue.
Absolutely. They all can write in, and those letters go to the legislators. I don't know if they're all read, but I do know that, you know, testimony that's written is not published anywhere. And so it's, if people are uncomfortable showing their face or being the one speaking, that's a really great way to get them involved.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. So that's all I got for tonight. If anything changes Tuesday, or if we hear of anything that changes Monday, Tuesday, we will start posting. You'll notice that there'll be kind of an uptick in notifications from us. So make sure that you're following the page with notifications from us turned on, because as soon as we know, Liz or I or Ned will post something to let you guys know that this process has begun. We are activating everybody to start writing letters and start pulling people together. And then, as we say every week, please, when you come to the next town hall, bring a friend, invite a friend.
Where is it posted on your Facebook page? Because I remembered it from last week, but
Yeah, we actually, New Approach South Dakota is where we're posting everything.
okay. Yep.
And what we'll do too is once they're scheduled, we'll actually create events that will have all the information and all of the legislators on which committee it's in and all of their emails that people can share too. And those events have historically been really effective. It gets people to invite their friends, and all you have to do is get somebody to commit to writing a short letter to the legislators, even if it's just, please don't take away my vote, or you're in opposition and you're in their district. It doesn't have to be your full patient story. It's just mostly making sure that they understand how many people are opposed to this bill passing. But if anybody doesn't have, I guess if anybody doesn't have any additional questions, I will give you back some of your evening tonight and just already stay posted. I know it's not the greatest end message, but it's the best I got. Stay posted until we hear if anything moves early this week. And then we will keep in touch with all of you. So on that note, everybody have a good night, and I'll see you next Sunday.
Thank you, Melissa. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.